Imagine this, you're laughing. A genuine, soul-deep laugh that resonates from a place of unburdened joy. Your life is a tapestry woven with new colors, vibrant threads of passion, purpose, and profound inner peace. You are not just surviving the absence of a man who wants to find your emotional landscape, you are thriving in a way that is utterly, dazzlingly your own. And then, he sees it. Perhaps it's a photograph that drifts across his screen, a story from a mutual friend, or a chance encounter where your radiance is undeniable. In that singular moment, a complex and volatile alchemical reaction begins deep within his psyche. It is not simple jealousy. It is not mere regret. It is something far more primal, a confrontation with a ghost he never expected to be so vibrantly alive. What he truly feels is the seismic shock of a shattered mirror. For so long, you were his reflection. Your emotional state was the barometer of his own value, his power, his significance. Your tears confirmed his impact, your longing validated his desirability. He had unconsciously projected his anima, the archetype of the feminine within him, onto you, expecting you to be a passive vessel for his own internal drama. He expected to see a woman diminished, a life in grayscale, a quiet testament to his irreplaceable absence. Instead, he sees a masterpiece he didn't paint, a symphony he didn't compose. And the cognitive dissonance is deafening. The first wave that crashes over him is a profound injury to the ego. This is not a simple sting of rejection, it is a fundamental challenge to his constructed reality. In the narrative he wrote for himself, he was the protagonist, the sun around which your world orbited. His departure was meant to be the climax, the event that plunged your story into a permanent third act of sorrow and longing. To see you happy, to witness your flourishing, is to have his entire script rendered meaningless. It proves, in the most visceral way, that he was not the sun. He was, perhaps, merely a season. This realization is a deep narcissistic wound. It whispers a terrifying truth his ego cannot easily accept. Your absence was not a tragedy, it was a catalyst. You were not the architect of her world, you were a scaffold, and once the structure was strong enough, the scaffold was removed. The sense of control, which is the ego's most cherished possession, evaporates. He no longer dictates your emotional weather. He cannot cause your storms or your sunshine. You are generating your own light, and this sovereign power is both terrifying and utterly maddening to the part of him that requires external validation to feel real. His psyche scrambles, searching for a way to reassert its importance in a story that has decisively moved on without him. This is the first crack in the foundation of his self-perception. This crack allows the shadow to seep through. Your thriving is not just a testament to your strength, it becomes an unbearable spotlight on his own stagnation. Your growth mercilessly highlights his lack of it. Every success you celebrate is a silent indictment of his own unfulfilled potential, his own unhealed wounds. This is where his psychology performs a dark sleight of hand. To confront the truth, that you have done the difficult inner work he has avoided, is too painful. So, he projects his own shadow onto you. Your authentic happiness is reinterpreted through his psyche's distorted lens as arrogance. Your newfound peace is twisted into a cold indifference. Your success must be the result of luck, or worse, some form of deceit. He may tell himself, she must have found someone else immediately, she was never truly invested, or it's all a performance for social media. These rationalizations are not about you. They are desperate attempts to protect his fragile ego from the crushing weight of his own inadequacy. He is not seeing you, he is seeing a distorted reflection of his own repressed fears, his laziness, his cowardice. You have become the living embodiment of the path he was too afraid to walk, the woman he was not strong enough to choose, and the life he was not evolved enough to build. This internal turmoil gives rise to a phantom narrative, a story his ego weaves to soothe its own wounds. He remembers a version of you that no longer exists, a more dependent, more pliable, more emotionally turbulent woman. This is the woman his ego was comfortable with, the one who affirmed his sense of masculine control and purpose. He may even feel a strange, nostalgic longing, but he is not longing for you as you are now. He is longing for the power dynamic that your pain afforded him. He is missing the feeling of being needed, of being the solution to your problems, the anchor in your storm. Your wholeness, your self-sufficiency, negates that role entirely. You have become your own anchor. This is where the archetypal drama intensifies. He had cast you as the damsel in distress, a role that automatically made him the hero. But you have walked out of that fairy tale, shed the costume, and embraced the archetype of the queen, ruling her own inner kingdom. This leaves his hero archetype unemployed, wandering the barren landscapes of his own psyche with a sword and no dragon to slay. He may even feel a sense of betrayal, as if you have broken some unspoken contract by refusing to remain broken without him. It's a profoundly immature and unconscious reaction, but it's a powerful one, rooted in the terror of being rendered irrelevant. And so, his psyche enters a state of profound cognitive dissonance. Two opposing beliefs clash within him: my decision to leave her was correct and necessary versus she is thriving, which suggests my presence was not essential to her happiness and perhaps was even a hindrance. To resolve this psychic tension, one belief must be diminished. It is almost always easier to devalue the external reality than to dismantle the internal one. Therefore, your happiness must be delegitimized. It must be seen as fake, shallow, or temporary. He will grasp at any evidence to support this, magnifying your minor struggles and downplaying your major triumphs. He becomes an unwilling spectator, obsessively tracking your progress not with joy for you, but with a desperate need to find a flaw in your narrative of success. This is a form of psychic haunting, but he is the one being haunted. He is haunted by the irrefutable proof of your resilience. Marcus Aurelius taught that the best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. You have not sought revenge, yet your very existence, your radiant joy, has become a form of it, a stoic revenge, enacted not through malice, but through virtue and self-mastery. You have refused to allow his actions to define the quality of your soul, and this sovereign act is something his ego-driven mind cannot comprehend or forgive. Let us speak of the anima. In the Jungian sense, the anima is the unconscious feminine side of a man's psyche. For the unenlightened man, the anima is not an integrated part of his own being. It is a collage of needs, desires, and fantasies that he projects onto an external woman. When he was with you, you carried the immense weight of this projection. You were expected to be his muse, his mother, his maiden, his wild woman, all at once, and all in service to his own psychological needs. He fell in love not with you, but with the parts of himself he saw reflected in you. When he left, he unconsciously expected to take that reflection with him, leaving you an empty frame. But you did not remain empty. You embarked on the arduous journey of individuation. You began to integrate your own masculine energy, your animus, your logic, your ambition, your courage. You started painting your own portrait inside that frame. So when he looks at you now, he sees a woman who no longer carries his anima. The projection has been violently recoiled. It has snapped back to him, and he is left alone with this raw, undeveloped, and often chaotic feminine energy inside himself. He is forced to confront his own neediness, his own emotional immaturity, his own lack of inner wholeness. Your thriving is a mirror showing him not his lost love, but his own unintegrated soul. The initial shock and ego bruising can then curdle into a more insidious emotion, resentment. This is not the clean fire of anger, it is the slow, toxic burn of bitterness. Why? Because your continued happiness acts as a perpetual, silent judgment on his character and his choices. It is a living monument to his miscalculation. Every laugh you share, every goal you achieve, is another brick in the fortress of your self-worth, a fortress he no longer has access to. He may begin to feel a sense of cosmic injustice. How can she be so happy when I am not? He might wonder, failing to see the direct correlation between his own lack of inner work and his current state of discontent. This is the psychology of the man who externalizes his locus of control. He believes happiness is something that happens to you, a prize to be won or a treasure to be found, often in another person. You, on the other hand, have been learning the great Stoic truth: happiness is an inside job. It is the product of virtue, discipline, and the radical acceptance of reality as it is. As Seneca wrote, true happiness is to enjoy the present, without anxious dependence upon the future. You are living this philosophy. You have detached your well-being from external outcomes and people. For him, a man likely still enslaved to his passions and external validations, this is an alien and deeply threatening concept. Your peace feels like a personal attack. This is the great divergence of paths on the journey of individuation. You have accepted the call to adventure, the painful descent into your own underworld to confront your shadows, your fears of abandonment, your codependent patterns, your unhealed trauma. You have done the work. You have faced the dragon of your own pain and emerged with the treasure of self-knowledge. He, by contrast, likely refused the call. When the relationship ended, he sought distraction, not introspection. He sought a new vessel for his projections, not the integration of his own psyche. He chose the horizontal path of endless repetition over the vertical path of spiritual and psychological ascent. And so, when he sees you, he sees a traveler who has journeyed to a land he cannot reach, speaking a language he does not understand. The language of self-possession, of earned confidence, of a quiet mind. He may attempt to re-establish contact, sending a casual text or a nostalgic message. You must understand what this truly is. It is rarely a genuine attempt to connect with the woman you have become. It is a probe, an egoic feeler sent out to see if the old power dynamic can be re-established. He is checking to see if he can still cause a ripple in your water, still evoke an emotional response that proves he matters. Your calm, polite, and emotionally detached response to these probes is perhaps the most devastating blow of all. It is not cruel, it is simply true. It is the truth of your new reality. Your center of gravity no longer resides in his opinion of you, it resides within your own soul. The Stoics called this the inner citadel, a fortress of the mind that no external event or person can breach. You have been building this citadel, stone by painstaking stone, through discipline, self-awareness, and the practice of focusing only on what you can control. His messages are like arrows fired at your fortress walls, and they simply fall away, harmless. This indifference is not a game you are playing. It is the authentic state of a woman who has transcended the need for his validation. For him, this is the ultimate negation. His anger could be weathered, his insults endured. But your peaceful indifference? It tells him, in no uncertain terms, that his chapter in your story is not just over, it has been fully processed, integrated, and filed away. He has become a memory, while you have become a living, breathing presence. This is the moment he truly understands that he has lost not just a partner, but a source of vital psychic energy he had taken for granted. He is now faced with a stark choice, a crossroads in his own development. He can either take this painful experience as the ultimate catalyst for his own journey inward, or he can retreat further into the defenses of his ego. If he chooses the former, he might finally begin to ask the difficult questions. What is this emptiness inside of me that I expected her to fill? What parts of my own shadow have I been projecting onto others? How can I build my own inner citadel? This is the path of the conscious man, the man willing to face his own demons. It is a difficult and lonely path, and few choose it willingly. More often, the ego will double down. He will seek out another woman, likely one who reflects the stage of development you were in when you first met him. He will attempt to replay the same dynamic, seeking the same validation, casting a new actress in the same tired role of carrying his anima projection. He will chase the fleeting high of a new connection to avoid the permanent work of self-connection. He chooses the comfort of the familiar pattern over the terrifying freedom of genuine growth. In a way, you have given him a profound gift, the opportunity to see his own psychological blueprint laid bare. Whether he has the courage to read it is no longer your concern. As for you, the journey has transformed you into something new. You have completed an alchemical process. You took the lead of your grief, the raw, heavy metal of your heartbreak, and subjected it to the intense fire of introspection and the pressure of discipline. You did not shy away from the heat. You sat in the flames of your own sorrow, your anger, your loneliness, until all the impurities were burned away. What remains is the gold, the indestructible, untarnishable gold of self-worth. This is not the fleeting confidence of external praise, it is the deep, quiet knowing of your own value that was forged in the crucible of your own healing. You have moved through the archetypal stages, from the maiden, dependent on the validation of the hero, to the queen or the empress, a sovereign being who creates her own reality from the inside out. Your happiness is not a performance designed to wound him, it is the simple, radiant byproduct of your own inner alignment. It is the garden you have cultivated within your own soul, and you are now enjoying its fruits. You have learned that your life is not a story about waiting for a man to choose you, it is a story about you choosing yourself, every single day. This state of being is what the ancients called eudaimonia, not a fleeting feeling of pleasure, but a state of human flourishing that comes from living a life of virtue and purpose. It is the deep satisfaction of a soul in harmony with itself. The man from your past looks upon this and sees a puzzle he cannot solve, because he is still looking for an external key. He does not understand that the door was always on the inside. He may feel a pang of what he misidentifies as love, but it is more accurately this trauma-informed fantasy of re-engagement. It is the desire to go back to the scene of the ego's injury and win, to rewrite the ending, to prove that he is still potent, still important. But you are no longer on that stage. You are not even in the same theater. You are out in the world, living a life so rich and full that the dramas of the past seem like a play you once watched, with actors you barely remember. Your emotional energy is no longer a resource to be plundered by others, it is a sacred wellspring that you use to nourish your own growth, your own passions, and the lives of those who are truly capable of meeting you in your wholeness. He may watch you from a distance, forever trapped in the amber of his own what-ifs. What if he had done the work? What if he had been brave enough to grow with you? What if he had chosen the path of consciousness instead of the path of ego? These questions may haunt him for years, a ghost of the potential he abandoned. But these are his ghosts, not yours. You have made peace with the past by building a present so compelling that you have no desire to look back. Your focus is forward, on the horizon of your own becoming. You have learned the ultimate lesson of Stoicism and Jungian depth psychology. The greatest power lies in withdrawing your projections, taking responsibility for your own emotional state, and committing to the lifelong process of becoming the most authentic version of yourself. You have discovered that the love you were seeking from him was merely a pale reflection of the boundless love you were capable of giving to yourself. Your peace is not a victory over him. It is a victory over the part of you that once believed you needed him to be whole. The final realization for him, should he ever achieve it, is one of profound and humbling irony. In letting you go, he inadvertently set you on the path to becoming the very woman he probably always craved but was never equipped to handle. He wanted the finished artwork, but he was unwilling to be the artist's patient partner, to sit with the messy process of creation, to endure the discomfort of change. He left a work in progress, and when he looks back, he sees a masterpiece now housed in a gallery he cannot afford to enter. His ego may never allow him to fully admit this truth, but his soul knows it. It is a quiet, aching knowledge that will surface in moments of loneliness and reflection. It is the understanding that he did not lose a mere girlfriend or partner. He lost a catalyst, a mirror, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for his own evolution. He was offered a key to a deeper life, and he chose to remain in the shallow end, wondering why he never learned to swim. Your story is no longer intertwined with his reaction. His feelings, be they regret, jealousy, or resentment, are simply weather patterns in a distant land you no longer inhabit. You have reclaimed your narrative. You have become the author, the protagonist, and the creator of your own world. The peace you feel is not conditional. The joy you experience is not for an audience. It is the authentic expression of a soul that has come home to itself. You have turned your scars into sources of light, your wounds into wells of wisdom. You have realized that the purpose of that relationship was not to find a partner, but to find yourself. It was a sacred, painful, and ultimately beautiful initiation into your own power. You walk forward now, not as half of a whole, but as a complete universe, radiant and self-sustaining, ready to connect with another who is also whole, not out of need, but out of a shared, conscious celebration of life. The woman who knows her worth doesn't chase, she chooses.